I'm going to tell you why owning 3 restaurants almost killed me. And in this video, I'm going to show you exactly how you can own 3 restaurants and not make the same mistakes that I did. So when I owned 3 restaurants, it was a terrible scenario for me because there's a few different things that I didn't know and didn't do, because I had come from owning 1 restaurant and I thought, hey, well, this one's not doing as well as what I want it to, but if I open up another one, great. Like I'll have double the sales, like we'll make even more money and everything will be great. Then I got into 2 restaurants and I realized that wasn't the case. It's something I tell my clients now is that 2 unprofitable restaurants don't make a profitable ones. You should only scale up when you actually have everything dialed in and working on your first location. But so anyway, I was young. I was like, oh, if we just get more, we'll be better. And I had 2, and I'm like, okay, this is great. Well, I'm just going to open up a 3rd one, and then it's going to be better. And I was just like, someday when I own these 10 locations or whatever it is, I'm just going to make $1 million. Everything's going to be amazing. And I thought it was going to be great. But the only problem was that in doing so, I didn't have the right skill set. And so let me talk to you a little bit about that. So here's what I was experiencing when I opened 3 locations. So I had 3, and what I found is that every day it would start out with some text messages coming in. Hey, Andrew, we ran out of lettuce. Can you go and grab some from Restaurant Depot? Like, okay, all right, I'm going to run out. I'm going to go grab that lettuce. Hey, somebody didn't show up, and I had 3 stores that were across the city. So I'm like, all right, then I drive, 30 minutes to go to this other one because somebody called in sick. They need help on lunch service. Okay, great. So I'm running over there to do lunch, and then a manager's like, hey, our walk-in is not doing so well. Like it's temping high. Can you come take a look at it? So I drive, back across the city and I go take a look at this. And then I just continue going back and forth and back and forth and back and forth and running around. I swear I spent more time in my car than doing anything else. So I was running around doing this. I was stressed out all the time. I didn't have time for my family at that point. I wanted to take vacations, but literally with the amount of emergencies coming in, I was literally at the airport fielding these calls. Oh, where do you put the toilet paper again? Or where can I find this thing? Or, the Uber tablet logged us out. What's the password again? Just that kind of stuff was happening. And I remember actually trying to visit some family, and I remember getting in the car and not even being able to get out of the city limits before the first call came in with someone calling in sick, and I had to go back and fill a shift. So the thing is, when I had multiple locations, sure, I had multiple locations, but they weren't functional. And they weren't making the type of profit that we wanted, because one was doing great, one was doing terrible, one kind of took care of itself, so the good one took care of the bad one, and really we were ending up in this place really making the money that we should have made. And then my brain was everywhere. I wasn't having the life. And so I came to the point where I was like, I cannot have the life that I want with the business that I have. So I either need to get better or I need to get out. And that was where I found myself with these 3 locations. And so the thing is, if you are in this situation right now with 3 locations, don't worry, it can get better. And if you're in a position where you are not yet at 3 locations, but you want to, here's the things that I would have done differently. Because looking at where I ended up, sure, I eventually figured it out, but it was a lot of stress. I probably have, more gray hair somewhere that I gained over that time. But the thing is, what we need to do is make sure you have the right skill set. So here's the thing. I knew how to do things myself. I was great. I'm like, if I was in a restaurant, I could do everything. I could cook. I could serve, guests. I could do everything that needed to get done. If I was there, we would have no problem. So where I was, everything was great. Then I would leave. And that's where the problems would start, right? Because I had everything up in my head, right? And so we didn't have the systems in place so that the business could run without me. We didn't have the management team in place so that things could run without me. So when I left, the manager didn't know what to do because I didn't know how to train a manager. I didn't know yet how to become an executive, because an executive is someone who manages managers. And that is a different skill set than managing a frontline individual contributor employee. You can tell them, hey, make sure you chop onions this way, right? Make sure you ring in this to the POS this way. That's easy. That's easy stuff. You're dealing with, okay, are you showing up on time? Are you doing your job? But a management, you need to teach them how to think. And I didn't know how to teach people how to think. I wasn't the leader that I needed to be at that point. And so that ended up with so many other issues. And I just ended up being sucked down into just solving problems and firefighting all the time because I didn't have the skill set to teach people how to lead, and I didn't have the systems in place so that they could follow them and get the right result. So here's what we did. We went back to the drawing board and we started to review our HR procedures, our hiring, our training, our operations. We reviewed our marketing and our finance. We reviewed everything and we went back and changed it all. And basically what happened at that point is things started to turn around. We started to have the business going better. Our sales were going up. You know, we were able to get more profitability. Our food and our labor was in line. Like all these things, I started to have more of a life at that point because I had the systems and the people in place to handle it. So when I was doing that, things started to turn around, which was amazing. And so that's when the franchise that I was a part of kind of said, hey, how come your restaurants are running different than all of our ones with franchisees that are running them? I said, well, here's the stuff that we're doing. And so I handed them the playbook, and then I trained their corporate stores. Then I trained some franchisees. And so that's kind of how I figured out that other people needed this type of help. And that's when I went international with what we're doing, because I'm just teaching people the stuff that I did myself. Right? I'm teaching people exactly how I was able to go from 1 to eventually 4 locations, but do it in a way that creates a life and a business that you can be proud of. And so owning 3 locations was a really tough time, but the core lessons that I needed to learn is, number 1, that I had to become a better leader. I have to be better at leading the people and teaching them how to lead, because if I'm the only one that can do everything, nothing is ever going to get done if I'm not there, right? So that's a skill set that I needed to learn. Number 2, I need to have these systems and processes in place. So an example of this is, okay, if you need to clean the bathroom mirror, literally, and I say this story a lot, you need to have it to say, like, clean the bathroom mirror with Windex and paper towel, because it's not that people are idiots, but it's because common sense isn't common to someone who's never done it before, right? So we need to make sure that everything is clear. And once there's clarity, we can then have accountability. So once it's clear, we say, hey, was there anything unclear about the way that was written? They say, well, no. Okay, great. So that's the way it needs to get done. And that is how we start to get people to do the things and level up to our standards. Now, another thing I did too is we actually raised our wages above market. And this might sound crazy for some people because, you know, wages now are much higher. And yes, we've kept that up. We still pay above market in my own restaurants. And so the reason we do that is because we were able to get some really top performers. So for example, at the time, it might have been like $1 more per hour or something like that. But by doing that, the people that we were bringing in for that $1 more per hour literally would just fly circles around our existing staff. Literally, they would be there and they'd be twice as productive. And so I'm like, for $1 or $2 more, I get twice the productivity. So instead of having 6 people on shift, I can have 4. Yeah, I'm going to do that. Even if it's $2 more, right? I just saved 2 whole salaries because of it, right? Because they're that much more efficient. So paying above market will actually get you top tier performers. And if you do that and train them well and treat them well and all that kind of stuff, that actually dropped my labor costs by about 4% of sales. Massive, right? Anyway, so the 3 locations, at the end of the day, if you want to do it right, you need to have the right management structure in place, the right leadership, you need to have the right processes and the right systems. And at that point, you can create a business that can scale and flourish. And then you bring in a regional manager to be able to oversee them. And then you can just continue to grow like that. But if you don't have those in place, what I say is that I've seen way too many restaurants go from 1 to 2 to 3 to bankruptcy. That's something I see all of the time, because you may have leveled up your locations, but you haven't leveled up your skill set. You haven't leveled up your people. You haven't leveled up your systems. And so you're still trying to run 3 locations like you did 1. And simply put, that doesn't work. So if you're thinking about opening up more locations, make sure that you take the necessary steps to ensure everything is in line so that you don't end up fighting fires, which will take years to fix sometimes if it's that bad. And so you can do it right the first time and be able to scale and get to that location count that you want. Maybe that's 5, 10, 15, you want a franchise, whatever the case is. Having the right systems, the right people, and the right leadership skill set for you is crucial to make that happen. All right, if you have any questions, I would love to hear them. Thanks for listening. We'll see you soon.